Hello, Mr. Betts here. Let's take a look at a couple of pretty straightforward examples using vector valued functions and calculus. So in the first example here, I actually did this problem in the introduction video. So if we want to take the derivative of f, notice that f is a vector valued function. So it has two components. It has an x component and a y component. And to take the derivative, we're just going to take the derivative of each of those components independently. So I'm going to use my angled brackets here. The derivative of the x component is 2t. The derivative of the y component is cosine of t. And that's it. That's my answer. Now, another thing we might be asked to do is to evaluate the derivative at a particular point. So if we do that, we're going to start by taking the derivative just like we did. And then we plug in 1 for t. So f prime of 1 is going to be 2 times 1, comma, cosine of 1, which we can evaluate that. Technically, if this were a free response question, we could just box and be done. But let's go ahead and simplify here. And we get 2, comma, and then cosine of 1 is, well, we don't know what that is. To get a numerical answer, we would have to plug that into our calculator. So we'll just leave it as cosine of 1. So the idea here is we're just taking the derivative of each component of the vector independently. I do want you to keep in mind that this derivative does have an interpretation in terms of the motion of an object. So if the position of the object is given by the function f, then this derivative of f is going to give us the velocity. And the velocity as a vector tells us the direction that it's going horizontally. So the x component is horizontal movement. So a positive velocity for our x component tells us that our object is moving to the right in the xy coordinate plane. And I don't know what cosine of 1 is, but I do know cosine of 1 is less than 1 is less than pi over 2, which means that cosine of 1 is going to be positive. And so we get a positive y component, which means that the object is moving vertically. So the positive 2 tells us the object's moving to the right. The positive for cosine of 1 tells us the object is moving up. So this derivative vector is going to give us the velocity when we're talking about motion problems.